I'm Dr. Kathleen Walls.
And I'm Kamaya Lizette, eclectic soul and multidisciplinary creative body.
And you are watching
Dr. Walls and Friends on UCCN. Dr. Walls and Friends on UCCN.
Where is my passion, purpose? Where can I find it? Where is my passion, purpose? Where can I find it? Where is my passion, purpose? Where can I find it? Dr. Walls and Friends, where I find it. Dr. Walls and Friends. Dr. Walls and Friends, where I find it. Dr. Walls and Friends. I find passion, purpose, inspiration too. At Dr. Walls and Friends, where I find it. Dr. Walls and Friends. Dr. Walls and Friends, where I find it. Dr. Walls and Friends.
Welcome to Dr. Walls and Friends on the beautiful island of St. Lucia. We have just finished PIF 2015, and we are here with one of the star filmmakers, Mr. Demetrius Charles. How are you doing today?
I am doing great.
Yes.
I really am doing great. It has been a wonderful week. I am just feeling all inspired.
All right.
Now.
All right.
Yes.
So you had the film Ascension, which was the last film that was shown on opening night to a packed house.
Yes.
Tell us, what was that like, one, to be home because you're from St. Lucia, and then to be in the cinema and see Ascension on the big screen with an audience full of people?
It felt really great. One, my St. Lucian people have been always asking me to show something or show my work here, but I never had the opportunity to do so, not until you guys came along. It felt great hearing the reaction from the guests on the movie.
Yes.
It felt really great. I felt like, okay, I did my job because the reaction was coming from a good place, and that felt really good to me. It really did feel good to me.
So for those who have not seen it yet, can you give them just a little synopsis of what Ascension is about?
Well, Ascension is about a woman's journey, getting away from her abusive lifestyle,
Yes.
from in her past, in her present, and her struggles with just trying to maintain the beautiful her, while dealing with the beast around her.
Yes. And so we had a chance because you were able to sit on the Global Healing panel where we started talking about domestic violence, and we know that this is something that occurs in more people's lives than really we even have numbers for, and it happens globally. Everywhere people are suffering from this. What made you choose this as your topic that you wanted to do a film on?
Well, domestic violence is something that's really dear to me because, like I said earlier, I have seen it it's been around in my life for a while. I've seen it happen with my neighbors. I've seen it happen including my family and my friends.
Yes.
And if there's one thing I hate is to see a man raise his hands on a woman just because he thinks he has the right to. It doesn't sit well with me. I despise everything about it.
Yes.
And having had the opportunity to shed some light on it, and only to have had this thing happen in the States, where this guy beat up on his wife and it went public just as I am completing a film about this, was very important to me, because then I knew that I would be shedding some light on the matter.
Definitely. Now, the title, Ascension, how did you come up with that?
The lead, Aya Robinson, she said, like, how do you feel about if we just have a slight change in the title, because we've done the Broken one, don't call it Broken 2. So she and I, we sat down, we watched that, we looked through the dictionary, and we came across Ascension, and Ascension means to ascend, and which is what the girl does in the ending. She is ascending from a struggle that was her life, and so the movie just the title just sounded right, but I wanted it to connect it to the original title, which is "I Am Not My Mother," and so I just added that as a tagline.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out about filmmaking and how you even got started in this space.
Absolutely.
Sounds good?
Great.
All right.
Thanks.
So we'll be back shortly on Dr. Walls and Friends.
Children, children,
Yes, Mama.
where do you come from?
St. Lucia.
Come away, come away, come away. Come away with me on an island love story journey to the beginning. To the days prior to the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the thank yous and pleases and daily mannerly greetings. See, it started with the first breath, first touch, first sight, first sound, first taste. It started with not what was taught or learned, but that which was already innate to me. See, human nature is so great that our senses naturally correlate to the soils that nurture, and the breeze that bears life too, and tickles the swaying trees from which we receive breath. Yes, at times the gusts blow with much duress and distress, but I speak of a place that turns that force into waves of passion. A passion that resonates through floods of communal action and restoration. Yes, I speak of my love for a little island in the Lesser Antilles. Small but mighty, she has nourished trees and sowed seeds that branch far beyond the infrastructure of a north, east, west, south coast childbearing hips. Beyond her width, but not her reach. Like the rooting of a mother tongue, her ideologies remain channeled in me naturally. Not just by default, it remains my choice never to silence my patriotic Fair, fair Helen. Her light rises above her towering twin peaks, erupting through her rejuvenating springs to seek and warm me esteem on those cold and seemingly bleak and dreary mornings. Yes, hope springs, love churns amid thoughts of my feet twixt her wondrous soils I yearn for home. So yes, come away with me to her sandy beaches and coconut trees, her green fig and saltfish, her heat. She's a rich miss in wisdom and in strength through endurance of her plights for rights to reclaim the keys to her kingdom. Daddy John led Helen to freedom. And now would you just look in awe at 35 years of independent woman. Generation to generation, single parent struggle, yet outwardly and inwardly she remains intrinsically graceful. She shines light through her people, because it's her sand, sea, soil and sun are that which keep us beautiful. Come away, mamaila kaka ale tukote, tupatume yo kasha yekizita wale mewi sabwe. Mamaila kaka ale tukote, tupatume yo kasha yekizita wale mewi sabwe. From her land, her people, her light, these heartfelt words are sprung. My blue, yellow, black and white kaleidoscope of vision. See her waters run deep, quite in sync with the blood flowing through my veins. My anatomy aligned with her terrain. Heart speak her name, ignites in me a pride I simply cannot contain. For she's my 1 in a million, irreplicable island in the sun. And so today, tomorrow, forevermore, I remain in love with an island. Sadly see Mamala kaka ale tukote, tupatume yo kasha yekizita wale mewi savwe. Mamala kaka ale tukote, tupatume yo kasha yekizita wale mewi savwe. Children, children, yes mama, where do you come from, St. Lucia? Tell them no matter how far you roam, you'll always love your island home. Children, children, yes mama, where do you come from, St. Lucia? Tell them no matter how far you roam, you'll always love your island home. Come away, come away, come away, come away, come away, come away.
Welcome back to Dr. Walls and Friends, and we're talking with director and writer Demetrius Charles. And we said we're going to pick up and talk about how did you even get involved in this space of creating films?
Oh my God. I first started with poetry, and I moved to New York to pursue film. But it took me a good 7 years just getting to New York, getting to know people.
Yes.
And I just started writing plays. But then I realized, okay, the business isn't film. So I called a few friends, I connected with a few people, and I decided to I have this script, I would like to do something with it. Can you direct it? I'll produce it. Let's have some auditions. And then that's how Broken was created.
Was birthed.
Yes.
Wow. So now you said you started out with poetry. So let's go back, because many times people don't understand the process or the journey of becoming a filmmaker. And everybody's story is different. But many times that igniting of that passion of wanting to be an artist and wanting to create. Do you remember how old you were when you started feeling that burning desire inside of you?
At school, I got my highest marks in composition writing.
Okay.
And for some reasons, my teachers always said, like, your stories always came together. And I forgot about that because I got into the hotel industry. And when I went to college, I just wrote a poem for a friend of mine. And she said, you just sat there and you wrote this. She said, do you like writing? I said, no, I just write stuff because it just comes to my head. And then that's how I just did 1, 2, 3 poems. And by the time I checked myself, I had a collection.
Look at that.
Then a second collection.
Wow.
Then a third one. And then I took one poem and turned it into a feature-length play. And took some of the poems and turned it into a one-act play.
Yes.
And even some of the movies, I write them as a poem.
Okay.
And that is my synopsis.
How interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
And then I break it down.
Interesting.
Yes. So I work.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I love that, because so many people have different processes on how it works for them. And so you were able to tap in and clearly understand your process.
Yes.
So now, as a filmmaker, so we have Ascension. What's coming up next?
A movie called Points of Interest. It's based on relationships, doing what is right, not necessarily what's in the heart. Because sometimes, even though what's in the heart might be beautiful, but what you're doing may not necessarily be right.
Yes.
So that's the movie. That's what the movie is based on. It's just learning to separate. How can I put this? Learning to separate the heart from the mind.
Yes.
And learning to make the best decision for what's around you and the people around you, because sometimes your ill thought of decision hurts everyone around you, and you can't always be selfish. It's not always what's best for me. It's sometimes what's best for everyone, me and everyone around.
That's such
me.
what a powerful point.
Yes.
What a powerful. I wish I could remember what show I was watching or movie, and someone said, you know, what does your heart say? And the person said what their heart said, and they said, now what does your mind say? And the person said what their mind said, and they said, good, go with your mind, because right now your heart is broken.
Yes. And that we fail to realize that this can get us in a lot of trouble. So we sometimes have to just learn to just walk away from this a little bit and just focus there.
That's right.
Yes.
And when this heals,
yes,
we can come back to the heart space.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So now, as a filmmaker, what is it that you hope people get from your movies? What do you want them to be able to walk away from or experience while watching them?
I would like them to learn. Based on the subject matter, I would like them to walk away learning something, or being enlightened by something they may not have necessarily known.
Yes.
I look at storytelling in 2 ways, and I've said this to my friends, my actors, my producers. I like to write something for the heart, and I like to write something that just makes people laugh. Because sometimes I come home and I'm not in the mood for something serious.
Yes.
I just want to laugh. And sometimes it takes the craziness of somebody else's mind to just make me just relax and laugh.
Yes.
So I like to create that way. One, I would create something that is soft and pretty and that draws in people's attention.
Yes.
And then I create something that just, oh my God, I can't believe it just is that.
Right.
Yes. So that's how I like to work.
Okay.
It's not because of degrading anybody. It's just that sometimes I just want to laugh. Yes.
I understand that.
Yes.
And I know you can imagine that as well. But
exactly.
now, do you think you'll do anything with the playwriting piece?
Yes, I actually did it twice in New York at the Paul Robeson Theatre and one at the American Theatre of Actors.
Okay.
I've been trying to get Le Chateau down here because people have been interested in seeing it, but it is a big play. I mean, it's about 9 of us,
Okay.
9 people on stage, but it's a really beautiful piece.
What's it about?
It's about these 3 women at 3 different points in their life, like 20s, 30s, 40s.
Yes.
Each individual experiencing something at that point in their
Yes.
life, and we all know in your 20s you want something different, in your 30s you want something different, in your
Yes.
40s you want something different, and that's the whole premise of that play. But it's done in early 1900s.
Yes.
In New Orleans, and it's done strictly in poetry form.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How unique.
Yeah, strictly in poetry form. So the girls, Michelle Fawn,
Yes.
is actually one of the leads in that movie.
Okay.
In that play.
Wonderful.
Yes, it's a really, really interesting play.
Interesting.
Really nice, yeah.
Interesting. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, what I want us to talk about is how you go about casting.
Okay.
Because moving this image that you have in your head to now manifesting in front of you, what is that process like? So we'll talk about that when we come back.
Okay, no
Sound
problem.
good? All right. We'll be back shortly on Dr. Walls and Friends.
My life is at the edge. What more can I do? All the things I've dreamt never did come true. I'm standing on the ledge, the edge of me and you. Missing how it felt to hold you. Times we spent felt so real. What it meant, what was the deal? Where did it go? How was it lost? Why didn't we know? What was the cost? I love you, tell me what you feel, 'cause baby I can't live, even though I doubt you. I love you, tell me if it's real, 'cause baby I can't breathe when I'm without you. I try to find the truth, but the truth is still you. Wishing every day that I never hurt you. Been trying to find a way to live without you. But at the end of the day, my heart belongs to you. Times we spent felt so real. What it meant, what was the deal? Where did it go? How was it lost? Why didn't we know? What was the cost? I love you, tell me what you feel, 'cause baby even though I doubt you. I love you, tell me if it's real, 'cause baby I can't breathe when I'm without you. I love you, I love you, I love you, tell me if it's real, 'cause baby I can't breathe.
Welcome back. And so before commercial break, we were talking about really that movement from inspiration and visualization to manifestation. So now, how do you go about moving that image, that creativity that you have inside of you, to now moving out on the screen or on the stage in the case of plays?
Well, first we start with our auditions, who I see in a particular role,
Yes.
and then I approach them. Because there are some people I see, and because of where I live in New York, you're surrounded by a lot of actors. Sometimes I don't know them, but because of their behavior, it sticks out to me.
Yes.
And sometimes I approach them. It's
Okay.
like Michelle.
Yeah.
That's how we met, and we've been together for a while now. So if that doesn't work, then I call an audition, do a casting call, get
Okay.
everybody in the audition, and this is how we do it. Then we move on to the reading, to see what it sounds like, if there are any changes that needs to be made, and then we just move on to booking the theater and just getting it done.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Wonderful.
That's-
Wonderful. So we talked about already, you said you're interested in bringing the play down to St. Lucia.
Yes.
So that's something to look forward to in the near future.
Yes.
You have this next film project coming up in the near future.
Yes.
What about this poetry piece? Any books that people should be on the lookout for?
Oh, funny you said that, because I am presently editing all three books again,
Excellent.
so that I could just have it available on Amazon.
Yes.
I really love what the young lady did with her piece. I've been wanting to do it
yes.
for the longest while. I spoke to a friend of mine in Switzerland about doing it for me, because he's sort of into that style of
All
thing.
right. All right.
But he hasn't been able to do it yet because of time. But since I have the camera and I have a crew and I have cast members and I have everybody and I'm surrounded by creative people,
Yes.
then I'm going to do it by myself.
right.
That's it, because I can do it, so why not just do it?
That's right.
Because sometimes people see something a little bit differently from you. And so sometimes that's why I like to extend the offer, like, what can you bring to the table?
Yes.
Show me something that is different, because my mind might be working a certain way, but you might see it a different way that everybody might love. So I like to extend the offer to other artists to show me
Yes.
what they can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I
definitely.
look forward to that.
Yes, I like that.
Yes. So now let's bring it back to Ascension just for a moment. 3 ladies joined you on this trip to the Piton International Film Festival for this screening.
Yes.
Let's talk about the 3 of them briefly, their roles, and how you ended up choosing them for their parts.
Okay. Io Robinson has been a friend of mine, and Io Robinson did my first play.
Okay.
So it just felt natural, and we always kept in touch. And I asked myself, who could play Elizabeth and play her well? And I've always wanted to do a movie with Elizabeth, with Io Robinson.
yes.
So I called her one night while I had a little bit of a little drink. Yes, and then we reached out. She said yes, she would love to do it. Send her the
Wonderful.
script. She read it and she just told me, oh, I have to do this. Justine Hall plays the mother of a very deranged, very complicated family of a series I'm finishing up right now called The Matzes.
Okay.
And she also did Le Chateau. So, and her acting is really brilliant. This woman is so good that the part was originally written for a guy, but I said no,
Wow.
let her play it.
Okay.
And I told her, do you think you could play the role of Jay, because Jay was the guy.
Yes.
So I said, your name is Justine Jay.
It
The
worked.
role is yours.
Yes,
yes,
yes.
that's what. Michelle, like I told you, she's been with me a little bit shortly after Ayo.
Okay.
And Michelle is really a good actress.
Mm-hmm.
So I spoke to her about when I added the role, the piece.
Yes.
I said, would you mind playing? It's very small, but it's very good, and it will be good for you as an actress. So would you mind just coming in and just do that one day shoot?
Excellent.
And she came in and she did it.
And they all came together
All-
amazingly.
Yes, Michelle was the first one to book a flight.
Look at that.
Yes. The smallest
First
role.
one to book and last one to leave.
Yes.
She said,
Yeah, she was the first one to book a flight and say, I'm coming.
yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. So now for people who are interested in seeing your work or even potentially auditioning for a space, whether it's a play or a television show, what's the best way for them to follow you or get in contact with you?
They can look up the website Demetrius with a D in the middle, charles.com, or they could just search for me on Facebook, even Google, because a lot of things will just pop up.
True.
So then they will find ways to contact me
Yes.
in either way they choose to.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for taking this time with us.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you back in the States.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
All right.
Kicking and screaming, right?
Yes.
Yes, right.
Yes, because right now I'm heading to the beach in another 2 hours.
All right now.
It's damn good.
All right. So we're going to let him head to the beach, and we will see you again on Dr. Walls and Friends.
Dr. Walls and Friends, where I find it.